And I got two more definitions. This is by Raja T. Nasr. He says, Raja T says, South Indian linguist, linguistics is concerned with human language as a universal and recognizable part of human behavior that we already discussed. He says linguistics is concerned with human language as a universal. Language is something universal. It's not spoken only, say, in one continent, say Asia only, or say in Europe. No, it's spoken all over the globe, in all the continents. People communicate through language. So language is concerned with human language as a linguistics concerned with human language as a universal and recognizable. I said I discussed the word recognizable. That means you recognize a word, you identify a person by his speech, by the language he speaks, of human behavior and of human abilities. Now Raja T is talking about human abilities also. Abilities, what does it mean, abilities? We are in fact capable of producing so many sounds, but we do not make use of all those sounds. There are just a few sounds that we make use of while we are communicating with somebody. Okay, so we abilities. I repeat, linguistics is concerned with human language as a universal and recognizable part of human behavior and of the human abilities. Like human beings are capable of producing a number of sounds. This is what he means. Now these sounds can be meaningful or meaningless, but they are capable of producing sounds. And yeah, here there is one more definition. This is by Monica Crabtree and Joyce Powers. They say, Monica Crabtree and Joyce Powers, according to them, linguistics is competence as being a person's potential to speak a language. Linguistic is competence as being a person's potential to speak a language. And his or her linguistic performance as the realization of that potential. This is what they say. What do they mean by this? They mean that our knowledge of a language, the vast number of words that we know, is a part of competence. But the actual speech, the actual sentences that we make while we are communicating, or say utterances, they are an instance of performance. What are they? They are an instance of performance. So he says, our competence and performance is in fact defines linguistics. Linguistics is competence as being a person's potential. Potential is ability, is competence to speak a language, and his or her linguistic performance as a realization of that potential. We'll be discussing this dichotomy, the competence and performance. But what do they mean? I just repeat. A person has a very vast vocabulary. He knows a lot of words, but all those words are not being used when we communicate. Our utterances are our performance, and our knowledge is our competence. This is what Monica Crabtree and Joyce Powers bring to our knowledge. Okay, so these were the definitions, the 5 important ones which I discussed. Well, I may give you even sheets also. If you require, I'll give you the sheets. If you're not able to note down them properly, like 3 I had noted down, and 2, I just read them out to you. I might provide you the hard copies also, so that you can see the other definitions as well. Yes, linguistics is thus the scientific study of human language. Okay, what is it? It is this scientific study of, remember this, whosoever asks you, because this is a new field for you, and people might ask you, well, what is linguistics? When you say that you have opted for linguistics, this is an optional paper, and if you say that you have opted for linguistics, so people might ask you, well, what is linguistics? So you must remember that you would say linguistics is the scientific study of human language. Okay, what is it? It is the scientific study of human language. It describes and analyze languages. What does it do? It describes and analyzes languages. Again, I would like go back to this phonetics, since we have already covered this topic. Phonetics, in fact, is the core of linguistics, I must say. Okay, the bread and butter, the central part of linguistics. Yeah. So, what does linguistics do? It tries to describe. We were describing for consonants, we were describing vowels and all. So, what do? They describe and analyze languages. Linguists, they describe and analyze languages. Analysis is important. Why? Because languages are not the same. Alphabets are not the same. Certain sounds are not there in certain languages. Although human beings can produce sounds, most of say the sounds that are available to them, but we do not have them all the sounds there in our alphabet. So alphabet differs from language to language, and that is why some people are say capable of producing more sounds and others are not. Why? Because they do not have so many letters in the alphabet. Like, for example, English, it has only 26 letters. That is why we have diphthongs. We join two letters together. Is that fine? Okay. Yes. So to study and observe languages and to describe them accurately. This is what a linguistic. This is what we study in linguistics, or this is what a linguist do. Yeah. Again, this word is a very baffling word for some students, because they ask me. They said they think that linguist is a person who knows many languages. No, he is not. This is a misconception. A linguist analyzes languages, he describes languages. Okay, he does the scientific study of human behavior, human language, but he is not the one who knows many languages. Such a person is polyglot, I must say, and not a linguist. So if you know 6-7 languages, that doesn't mean that you are a linguist. The linguist is different. What do? They study and observe languages and describe them accurately. These linguists, they do. And they find points of generalization within what has been described. Points of generalization. Like, say, while we were discussing plosives. What are plosives? Like pa and ba. Remember? Pa and ba. They are called as pa and ba. They are called as bilabial plosives. Okay, there are two sounds, pa and ba, and they are called as bilabial plosives. Why are they called bilabial plosives? Why? Because lips are the primary articulators there. Lips are the primary articulators. Lower lip and the upper lip. Besides, they are plosives. They are stops. You like you have your breath inside your stomach, and then all of a sudden you release it. Pa, ba. We had the demonstration also. I hope if you remember. So this is the point of generalization between these two phonemes. So this is what the linguists do. They find points of generalization within what has been described and draw conclusions about the general nature of human language. Okay, to draw conclusions about the general nature of human language. So, linguists first observe, analyze, generalize, and at the end they draw conclusions. This is what they do. They analyze, observe, and towards the end they arrive at conclusions. But before arriving at before coming to conclusions, they do a number of things. They collect data, they observe it, and say they study it. And that's why they have language labs also where they make their study. So to draw conclusions about the general nature of human language, linguists first observe, analyze, generalize, and at the end they draw conclusions. Thus, they are doing their study almost like you may say the scientists. Scientists also do the same thing. Linguistic, is a scientific study. All those definitions you must have seen. They all say that it's a scientific study. It's a scientific study because it is not based on fiction, as say writing of a novel or writing of a drama or writing of a poem is. It's not that one fine morning or say one day the goddess of poetry inspire you and you just wake up in the middle of the night and then you create a poem. It's not like that. It is based on observation. It is based on research, empirical research. So it's a scientific study. Is it fine? I hope this is clear to you. So we discuss the definition. The definition of linguistics. Yeah. Now they say linguistics and applied linguistics. There is a slight difference here. What does the word applied mean? Applied is something practical, something which has a practical use, something which is not theoretical. Linguistics, you may say, is theoretical, but applied linguistics has a practical use. That means in everyday use we make use of say our knowledge of 44 sounds, 44 phonemes, and since we have studied this, so we know how to pronounce words accurately. So it has a practical purpose. For example, phonetics is a part of applied linguistics because it has a practical use. Applied linguistics, say is different from linguistics because it attempts to make practical use of the knowledge derived from general linguistics research in order, say for example, to identify, investigate, and to offer solutions to language related real life issues. Okay, so this is what. So what is if I ask you what does applied mean, so what would you say? That applied means practical as opposed to being theoretical, as opposed to being. So applied linguistics identifies, investigates, and offers solutions to language related real life issues. Okay. Besides, it puts linguistic theories into practice in areas such as foreign language teaching, speech therapy, translation, and speech pedagogy. Yes, foreign language teaching, foreign language like English is L2 for us because L1 is mother tongue, the first language that you learn, and English is a foreign language. So linguistics, yes, it's a foreign language. That is why we do not acquire it as naturally as we acquire our own mother tongue. So what do they say? Applied linguistics, they put theories into practice in areas such as foreign language teaching. Foreign language teaching, now I'm not talking about just English, any language for that matter, okay, which is not spoken in your country, or maybe which is not spoken in the part of that country where you live. Even in India, there are so many languages, but we do not speak all those languages, and we don't even know, and we are not capable of speaking all those languages or learning those languages. We speak just a few of them. Foreign language teaching, speech therapy. Okay, yes, speech therapy, linguists or applied linguistics has a role to play in speech therapy as well. Translation and speech pedagogy. Okay, speech pedagogy. For example, these news readers that you see, or the voiceover artists, I mean, the anchors and all, they ought to have a good knowledge of linguistics, applied linguistics. Then only they can, be a good speaker. Yes. And other say tasks of applied linguistics are to improve the ways in which a student's native language is taught. Linguistics, or say I must say applied linguistics, also helps us in learning our own native language in a better way. In a better way, they also it helps us, and it helps say people to learn the foreign languages more efficiently, and say it helps us in language testing and analysis of learners errors also. I discussed language testing with you. Language testing, what did we discuss here? Like, we designed tests, diagnostic tests, and say proficiency tests in order to see whether the material taught has been really been learnt by the students or not. So linguistics, applied linguistics has a role in language testing and analysis of learners error also. Learners errors, like, means where they are making errors. Are they making errors in nouns or prepositions or articles? How do we know this? This also we know through applied linguistics. They also applied linguistics help. And even to write better dictionaries. Some students would say that I would suggest they would come to me and they would say that which dictionary to consult, which dictionary to look for, which is the best pronouncing dictionary. So I would suggest them, well, if you really want to improve your pronunciation, go for Daniel Jones pronouncing dictionary. Now, like they would say that they don't understand. They don't understand the symbols. So once you acquire the knowledge of these symbols, the 44 phonemes, 12 consonants, 8 diphthongs, and 24 consonants, then you even know. What do you know? You even know what those symbols suggest. Okay, what do they denote? What do they indicate? So that helps you. So in fact, like Daniel Jones would not have been able to write a dictionary, such a wonderful dictionary, unless he knew the unless he had the knowledge of this. Since he acquired the knowledge of linguistics, then only he wrote it. Pronouncing dictionary, and that is considered to be the most authentic dictionary. So I would again suggest that if you really want to improve your pronunciation, go for it, or say Oxford Learners Dictionary. Even all all those people who compile dictionaries, for them knowledge of applied linguistics is a must. And I would say that applied linguistics also improve, say. You may say that it's a therapy for people with language problems, etc. I'm reminded of a movie that was Amir Khan's movie, with Tare Zameen Par, where the child, the child who plays the main role there, Tare Zameen Par, he had some problem, I think, his speech. Dyslexia. Okay, he wasn't able to
Read.
read. He wasn't able to read. Okay, this was the problem. And since he was not able to read, he couldn't. He lacked confidence, and he was not able to speak even. So people who suffer from language problems or speech problems, speech therapies are given to them. So what comes into say rescue? Applied linguistics. So applied linguistics has a very major role to play in our lives, and the knowledge of applied linguistics make us, in fact, better speakers and better persons, in fact, and we develop confidence also once we acquire the knowledge of applied linguistics. I hope you understood this. So today we discussed definition, the 5 definitions we discussed, and then we shall talk about nature and scope of linguistics also. Okay, thank you.